So when people begin to say, what is my intention? And make it clear on their intention. And they write it down. Now the research shows that less than 2% of the Americans actually write their intentions or goals down. The ones that do actually write them down, they have an 80% chance of reaching those goals if they write them down. So when you write something down, you're telling your brain that you mean it. It's a direction that you're moving, and it has to be ongoing. And it's a to-be statement. A to-be statement is something that you're evolving into. Once you get clear on your intention, you're sponsoring thoughts, the list of reasons why you want to be healthy. Because those sponsoring thoughts are really going to be the driving force to get you going in that direction. If it's healthy, you may have vitality. You may want to look better. If it's wealth, you want freedom. That's what you really want. You want freedom to do whatever you want, right? So when you begin to define your intention and you couple it with a sponsoring thought, now you're giving your body a taste emotionally of what that future is going to be like. Now, the next step is to plan your actions. Master your day, one day at a time. So now you've already dismantled an old part of yourself and you say, today, the thought I'm going to have is that I'm a genius and I accomplish everything. Or I live in no time, the universe provides for me. The universe lives in my favor. What behaviors am I going to demonstrate? I'm going to get up and I'm going to work out, or I'm going to read that, article on success, or I'm going to, whatever it is, I'm going to make a choice. And then I'm going to elevate my emotional state. I'm going to keep my energy up the entire day today. Just that simple process, you've already changed on a biological level. Now, if you get up and you prime, review, and remind yourself who you're going to be, then the next step is you warmed up your brain and body to be in that personality. Get your behavior to match your intentions. Now take it out for a test drive and accomplish what you set out to do during the day. In other words, when you get your behaviors to match your intentions and your actions equal to your thoughts, you get your mind and body working together. Now you are mastering exactly what you set out to do. And now when you begin to experience the effects of your choices, those new experiences then begin to reaffirm the emotion that you created from your sponsoring thoughts. Now the loop is starting to change and your choices begin to become a new habit. Track your changes. Take a moment and journal or have a little board on your wall and say, I got up earlier, I did a 20-minute walk, I did deep breathing exercises before I went to bed, I feel great, I'm going to do it again. And my definition of a genius is being uncomfortable and being okay with it. And when I can stay in that place of uncertainty and unknown, and I can transmute that energy into clarity or gratitude, that I can get my energy up even though there's chaos around me, then I'm filling that void between the old self and the new self with information. And when you change your energy, you change your life. In other words, you're so busy being elevated and know you can't predict what's going to happen. You're just very clear you're not going to go back to those familiar cravings and familiar urges. And finally, cue your environment. Take a moment and on your dashboard of your car or on the desk at work or on the mirror in your bathroom or on the refrigerator, remind yourself what your future is. Simple little cues, simple words or pictures. And if you keep your conscious mind on what you want, your subconscious mind will take you there. The hardest part about change is not making the same choices you did the day before. So you can say to yourself, okay, I have some pretty tough thoughts I have to overcome today. Let's just put them out and drag them out for observation right now so I know that when they come up, I'm aware of them and they're not me. That's the old self. And if you begin to look at your choices and the behaviors and you say, you know what, I've been a victim for too long. I'm not going to complain to anyone or anything about anything today. I'm going to make excuses for myself. Those are the two things I'm not going to do. Just not going to go there. If you were to take a minute and really begin to ask yourself, what part of my old self can I not bring to my new future? Because if I want to be a healthy or wealthy person or a genius, I can't bring these thoughts. It isn't in alignment with my future. So when you begin to realize that this is the person I'm going to create, these are the things that I have to leave behind. That simple analogy will begin to help you get clear on the direction that you're moving and allow that energy to push you. Now that energy is like the flame in the alchemist's crucible. It's going to turn base metals into gold. It's going to remove the dross. And so purification comes with quite a bit of agitation. There's got to be a stirring that takes place. And I think that most of us in the last year or two have felt this incredible stirring inside of ourselves. And that's because the energy is so intense that our nervous systems have to really adapt to it. So I think our purpose in life is really to remove these layers, these masks, these habits and emotions that block the flow of the divine within us. They're spending the majority of their time waiting and not creating, living in lack, living in emptiness, living in fear, waiting for that external event to take away their emptiness or pain. That's the Newtonian model of reality, of cause and effect. Turns out, though, the moment you're feeling that lack, you tend to try harder and force and control and try to predict or manipulate the outer world, because you're doing everything you can because you're experiencing the separation or polarity from what you want. You're waiting for it to happen and not creating. So then, two things. When you combine a clear intention with an elevated emotion, a heart-centered emotion, not the emotions of survival that are anger and hostility and aggression and competition or hatred or envy or jealousy or insecurity or fear or anxiety or pain or suffering or guilt or shame. Those are derived from the hormones of stress. An elevated emotion is a heart-centered emotion. And a heart-centered emotion lacks polarity. This is the center of oneness. This is the center of wholeness. This is the union of opposites. This is our connection, our bridge to the quantum field. This is where we connect. So think about it. When you begin to feel a heart-centered emotion, what you're doing is you're falling in love with your life. So your body is your unconscious mind. It does not know the difference between an experience that creates an emotion and an emotion that you're creating by thought alone. Your body is believing it's living in that future reality in the present moment. Now think about this. The latest research on genes says the environment signals the gene. Well, the end product of an experience in the environment is called an emotion. So when you begin to embrace the emotion ahead of the actual experience, you're signaling the gene ahead of the environment. And now you're beginning to instruct and select new genes that make new proteins. And proteins are responsible for the structure and function of your body. So you're literally becoming your dream. You're literally becoming it. So when you feel that emotion, you tend to be less interested in looking around outside of you of how it's going to happen. If you're walking around conditioning your body every day to feel that emotion, that you're in love with yourself and you're in love with life and you're worthy to receive and you're open and you're inspired and you're optimistic and you're enthusiastic and you're feeling that emotion, you feel like your future has already happened. So you're less likely to feel lack or separation. Now think about this. Point number 2. Once energy makes it to the center and you feel gratitude, that center begins to produce a measurable magnetic field. That's a frequency, that's energy, and all frequency carries information. So now you can lay the thought of your new relationship on that frequency, and now you're broadcasting a whole new electromagnetic signature into the field. So then the longer you're conscious of that energy, the more you're calling your future to you. When this center is opened up, you're connected to the quantum field. So now you don't have to go anywhere to get it, to try to force it or control it or predict it. In fact, you're the magnet. You're collapsing time and space, and the event is being drawn to you, and it comes in synchronicities and serendipities and coincidences, opportunities. Now the antithesis is also true. The moment you feel angry because you're in traffic, the moment you judge your coworker because all of a sudden they push an emotional button, the moment you feel sorry for yourself, victimized or self-pity, you're now emitting a different energy. In fact, you're back to the energy of your past and you just disconnected from your future. So then people's dreams stay at arm's length from them. So, people ask me all the time, well, how come my new relationship hasn't happened? And I tell them the same thing. Take out a piece of paper and write down everything you want in a new relationship, and then become that person. Because the question fundamentally is, would you go out with you? So if the answer is you're starting to love yourself so much that you no longer need another person, or you're no longer in lack, then you magnetize an equal. It just happens as a side effect. And it doesn't happen in ways that you can predict. It happens in different ways. So, the emotions of gratitude, appreciation, thankfulness, a love for life, a joy for existence, worthy to receive, inspired and enthusiastic to be alive, looking forward and in excitement and anticipation to the unknown, staying in that energy without analyzing. That's the energy that allows the unknown to begin to occur. So what you're doing is you're teaching your body emotionally what that future feels like. And when you're in a state of gratitude, you're in the perfect state to receive the fruits of your efforts.